The Blackwood house loomed over the town of Hollow Creek, a Gothic silhouette against the perpetual fog. Its windows, like vacant eyes, watched the Harper family's arrival.
All right, let's get these boxes inside. A fresh start awaits us. John, this place, it feels so, I don't know, heavy.
Look, Mommy, I found a pretty doll.
It's just an old house, Mary. A little fresh air and it'll be fine.
Did you hear that, John? The house, it almost sounds like it's breathing.
Mommy, I hear people talking, but I can't see them.
It's just the house settling, Lily. Nothing to worry about.
Oh, this doll, it's so eerie.
I love her. Her name is Emily.
Days melted into weeks. The whispers persisted, growing bolder.
These whispers, they won't stop. I hear them all the time now.
It's just the pipes, Mary, or maybe the wind. There's always a logical explanation.
No, John, this place, it's alive. Not like that, but in a way that's wrong.
One afternoon, while exploring the musty basement, Mary stumbled upon a hidden room.
What is this place and this journal? It looks so old.
The journal chronicled the life of the Blackwood family, the original owners of the house.
Oh my God, this is horrifying.
The final entry spoke of a tragedy, of a family torn apart by something unseen, something evil. Mary realized the whispers were trying to tell her something, to warn her. A haunting melody began to weave itself into the fabric of their lives.
I hear the music again, Mommy. It's so pretty.
This music, it's so sad, but it's not scary. It's like the house is crying.
I can't ignore it anymore, Mary. Something is definitely not right here.
One evening, as the unseen melody reached its crescendo, Mary noticed something chilling.
Lily, how do you know this song?
I don't know, Mommy. It just comes to me.
The house, she realized, was not just content with their fear, it was after something more. It was after Lily. Lily's attachment to the old doll, Emily, grew stronger.
Emily says she likes it here. She says she wants to stay forever.
John, I swear the doll, it moved. It looked at me.
Mary, you're just tired. You're imagining things.
One night, Mary awoke to an eerie silence. She crept out of bed and made her way to Lily's room.
Lily, are you awake, sweetie?
Lily was sitting up in bed, her eyes wide and unblinking.
Look, Mommy, Emily's friend is here.
And standing there, bathed in the pale moonlight, was a translucent figure.
She belongs with us now.
Terror, raw and primal, seized Mary.
Mary, what happened? Are you okay? You're exhausted, Mary. You need to rest.
Driven to desperation, Mary sought out the town's oldest resident, Agnes.
The house is strong. The spirits are angry. They feel cheated, betrayed.
Agnes agreed to help. They gathered in the living room, the air thick with incense and anticipation. Agnes, her voice a low chant, began the ritual. The room grew colder, the shadows seeming to stretch and twist in the flickering candlelight. And then the unseen melody began, filling the air with its mournful lament. The air crackled with energy, the temperature plummeted, sending shivers down their spines. It was as if the very essence of the house was reacting to their presence, warning them of the danger that lay ahead.
Claire, I can feel it. It's like a weight pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe.
Tom, what's happening? Why does it feel like the walls are closing in on us?
You should not have come here. This place is cursed, and now you are part of its story.
A cold wind swept through the room, extinguishing the candles and plunging them into darkness. The sudden loss of light heightened their senses, making every sound and shadow more menacing. The unseen melody reached a fever pitch, then stopped. The silence that followed was deafening, filled with the unspoken fears of the past. A silence descended, heavier, more oppressive than before. It was as if the house itself was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen.
Tom, I can feel eyes on me. It's like they're watching our every move, judging us.
In the darkness, Clara could feel eyes on her, cold and calculating. She could almost hear their whispers, their silent accusations.
Damn it. This place is playing tricks on us. We need to stay calm and find a way out.
Show yourselves. We mean you no harm. We just want to understand what happened here.
A flash of lightning illuminated the room, revealing the horrifying truth. The brief moment of light showed them the true nature of the house's inhabitants. Standing in the center of the room were the figures of a man, a woman, and a young girl. Their faces were pale, their eyes hollow, filled with an eternal sadness. The woman held a doll, its porcelain face cracked, one eye a vacant black hole. It was a haunting reminder of the innocence lost in this house, the family from the journal, the same faces now twisted by the torment they had endured. The family that had been consumed by the darkness of Blackwood House, their spirits trapped, forever reliving their tragic fate. Tom, his face pale with terror, grabbed Clara's hand.
We have to get out of here.
The spirits are too strong. We need to leave now.
Panic surged through Clara. She scrambled to her feet, her eyes darting around the darkened room, searching for Ben.
Ben, where are you?
But there was no answer, only the echoing silence and the oppressive sense of dread. Tom grabbed a lantern, his hands shaking as he fumbled with the flint and tinder. A spark, then another, and finally a flickering flame pushed back the darkness. They searched the room, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and desperation. But Ben was gone, vanished. The front door, which Tom distinctly remembered locking, was wide open. The wind howled through the entrance, carrying with it the mournful wail of the unseen violin. They found Ben's doll, Emily, lying discarded on the porch steps. The sight of the doll, once a cherished companion, now abandoned and forlorn, sent a shiver down their spines. It was as if the doll itself was a silent witness to the horrors that had unfolded within the walls of Blackwood House. Its porcelain face seemed to leer up at them, the vacant eye socket a black void that mirrored the despair in their hearts. The once bright and cheerful face of Emily was now a grotesque mask of sorrow, a haunting reminder of the innocence lost. The missing eye seemed to follow them, a silent accusation of their failure to protect Ben. They searched for Ben until dawn painted the sky a pale, sickly grey. The fog clung to the ground, wrapping around their legs like ghostly tendrils, making every step a struggle. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and decay, a fitting backdrop for their desperate search. They called out his name, their voices echoing through the mist, but there was no answer. But their efforts proved futile. The landscape, once familiar, now seemed alien and hostile, as if the very earth itself had conspired to hide Ben from them. Exhausted and defeated, they could do nothing but watch as the first rays of sunlight struggled to pierce the fog, casting long, eerie shadows that danced mockingly at their feet. Ben was gone. Swallowed by the house, claimed by the darkness. The once grand and imposing structure of Blackwood House now loomed over them like a malevolent sentinel, its windows dark and empty, its doors closed tight against the light of day. It was as if the house itself had come alive, a sentient being that had chosen to consume Ben and keep him within its shadowy embrace. As the sun climbed higher, Tom and Clara stumbled away from Blackwood House, their faces etched with grief and a terror that ran deeper than bone. They left everything behind. The memories of laughter and love that once filled their home were now tainted by the darkness that had claimed their son. Each step away from the house felt like a betrayal, but they knew they could not stay. The house had taken too much from them already. Furniture, belongings, a lifetime's worth of memories, all abandoned within the walls of that cursed place. The rooms that once echoed with the sounds of their lives were now silent, the dust settling over everything like a shroud. The photographs, the toys, the little mementos of a life well lived, all left behind to rot and decay in the darkness. The townsfolk of Hollow Creek watched them go, their faces a mixture of pity and grim understanding. They had seen this before, families torn apart by the malevolent force that resided within Blackwood House. They whispered among themselves, sharing stories of other children who had vanished, other families who had been broken. They knew that Tom and Clara would never be the same. They knew the stories, the whispers that circulated like the perpetual fog. Tales of the house's dark history, of the sacrifices it demanded and the souls it claimed. The fog seemed to carry these whispers, wrapping them around the town like a suffocating blanket, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the edge of their understanding. Blackwood House does not relinquish its hold easily. It demands a price paid in fear, in sorrow, in the very essence of those who dare to enter its domain. The house stood as a grim monument to the suffering it had caused, its dark aura a testament to the countless lives it had consumed. Tom and Clara disappeared into the fog, leaving behind a silence more deafening than any scream. The fog swallowed them up, erasing their presence as if they had never been. The town of Hollow Creek would remember them, but the house would not. It had taken what it wanted, and now it waited, patient and hungry, for its next victim. The Blackwood House remained, a stark silhouette against the ever-present fog. Its darkened windows seemed to watch over the town, a silent observer of the passage of time. The fog, thick and unyielding, clung to the house like a shroud, adding to its ominous presence. A constant reminder of the tragedy that had befallen the Harper family. The once vibrant home had turned into a decaying relic, its walls echoing with the sorrow of lost lives. The Harpers, a family known for their warmth and kindness, had been reduced to mere whispers in the annals of Hollow Creek's history. Some whispered that on quiet nights, when the fog was thickest, they could hear the mournful strains of a violin drifting from the house on the hill. The music, haunting and beautiful, seemed to tell a story of love and loss, of dreams shattered and hopes extinguished. A melancholic melody filled with a profound sadness, a symphony of despair played on a spectral violin. The notes, ethereal and haunting, would weave through the fog, reaching the ears of those brave enough to listen. It was said that the violinist was the spirit of Eleanor Harper, forever mourning the loss of her family. The townsfolk of Hollow Creek gave the house a wide berth. They avoided its shadow, crossing the street to stay as far away as possible. The house had a reputation, one that instilled fear and respect in equal measure. Stories of strange occurrences and ghostly apparitions kept the curious at bay. They knew its secrets, the darkness that lurked within its walls. The interior of the house was said to be a labyrinth of shadows, where the past and present intertwined. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind, seemed to carry the weight of the house's tragic history. They spoke of the house in hushed tones, warning their children away from its grounds. Parents would tell their children bedtime stories, not of fairy tales, but of the Blackwood house, cautioning them to never venture near. The fear was palpable, passed down from generation to generation. Blackwood House, they knew, was not just a house. It was a presence, a dark entity that seemed to breathe and watch. The very air around it felt heavy, as if the house itself was alive, feeding off the fear and sorrow of those who dared to approach. It was an entity, a living, breathing embodiment of sorrow and loss. The walls seemed to pulse with a life of their own, the very structure of the house infused with the grief of the Harper family. It was as if the house had absorbed their pain, becoming a monument to their suffering. The whispers continued, carried on the wind, a chilling testament to the darkness that lay at the heart of Blackwood House. These whispers, barely audible, seemed to speak of secrets long buried, of sins unatoned. They were a constant reminder of the house's malevolent presence. The house on the hill remained a silent sentinel, a monument to the horrors that lay hidden beneath its eaves, a chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed. It stood as a testament to the past, a relic of a time when the Harper family lived and loved and ultimately suffered. The Blackwood house, with its dark history and haunting presence, continued to loom over Hollow Creek, a perpetual reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of sorrow.